What is up? Today we're going to be trying out a product, and we're going to be doing another little test like we did with the Rust-Oleum. But this is the Zinsser 123 Primer. This is a water-based primer, and we're going to be primering this whole laundry room. But the main thing that we're going to be trying is the Zinsser says sticks to all surfaces without sanding, seals uniformly, blocks stains, dries in an hour, used with any top coat. Alright, so the main thing that we're going to be trying with this primer here is to see if it really does stick to something glossy without sanding, and if it covers the tannins and the wood. So we've got all this wood that we saved some of it, we tore some stuff out, but we saved as much as we could. And we've got all this trim up here, this nice trim up here, and this trim on the doors. We're going to see if this actually does stick well without any sanding. We're going to do one coat, we'll let it dry. It says it dries in an hour. We'll see if it really dries in an hour. And then we're going to test it to see how well it holds up to scratches and just, you know, messing with it, trying to see if we can get it to come off. These aren't scientific tests by any means, but we just like to see if these products really do what they say they're going to do. And I really wanted to try this one out because we tried the oil-based one. I've tried this one before and this one does work, but this is like, you have to cut it down with mineral spirits. It's really strong, it stinks, and we have little kids, so I'm not trying to spray something here that's gonna stink for days. So I went with the water-based kind. This is the Bullseye 123 primer for all surfaces, and yeah, it's like $35 is what I paid right now at Lowe's for it, so it is a little bit on the pricey side, but if it works and it saves you a lot of time sanding, then it'll definitely be worth it. So we're gonna go ahead, jump into it. Zinsser, you said sticks to all surfaces without sanding. I'm reading from your can. Seals uniformly, blocks stains, dries in an hour, used with any top coat, right? You also said back here, Bullseye 123 has outstanding adhesion to dense, glossy surfaces such as enamel paints and varnishes, paneling, laminates, and ceramic tile without sanding or deglossing. I didn't try it on top, but I tried it on varnish, and the lie detector determined that was a lie. It says surface should be clean, it was clean, dry, it was dry, sound, and free of dust, dirt, excessive chalky material. Right, everything was clean, everything was wiped down, and we sprayed this area. This is what I sprayed. Alright, so I sprayed this trim. I only got to here, I stopped here. Alright, so this is what we sprayed. But yeah, Zinsser. It's made by Rust-Oleum. I can't say I like, but I use your products, but don't tell me it's going to stick to gloss and then it doesn't stick to gloss. Luckily, I already kind of figured. I know the oil-based one has worked for us before, but this is the water-based one, and I said, let's try the water-based one. I don't want to stink up the house. I sprayed it. This is after just the kids walking in and out the doors. And I let this cure for, this has been 2 weeks. I started this, and then I got busy and just kind of put this on the back burner. So this primer has all been drying, curing for about 2 weeks. But this is my problem. I can literally, just with my fingernail, just peel it. I took the product at its word, and Thankfully I stopped here, so I don't have a lot to fix. I'm not really worried about the trim up here because nobody's really going to be messing with the crown molding. But like all these doorways and stuff, this is like our main entry door. So like this is going to get banged up. I'm going to have to take this door off, sand the door down, and all these trims on the doors right here. This is where we walk in every day. Thankfully I didn't do the rest of this. Guys, just tell me the truth, alright? If it's gonna stick, it's gonna stick. If it's not, then it's not, right? So what we're gonna do is we are going to do a light sand and degloss. We're using M1 paint deglosser and a little sanding sponge, and we're gonna go through. I got Alex on his way. He's gonna help me get this deglossed, get this painted. Right now we're gonna show you how to actually prep it so that this stuff doesn't come off, and we're gonna use the same stuff so you can see the difference between prepping the glossy surfaces and not prepping the glossy surfaces. On the walls it was fine. On the ceiling I'm sure it'll be fine because it's porous material, it'll soak it up, but on this gloss area it's not doing very well. So alright guys, use M1 glosser, water-based, and just make sure you wear some gloves. Wipe it off. This is a wet cloth, so I got a wet one here. I've got a clean dry one after. Guys, I'm gonna go through and do all of this wood, but I don't know if we can see it on the camera here, but this gloss has lost. I don't know if you can see it on the camera. Kinda right there. You can kind of see the gloss looks a little bit like opaque, a little bit like it lost a little bit of gloss. That's all you need for the primer to stick onto. So we roughed up the surface with the 120 and the deglosser. Now we're gonna can see the difference. There's still a little bit of gloss here. You can see the difference over here where we deglossed and we scuffed it up. So you're just creating a surface that the primer can actually stick onto. So we're gonna go ahead and go around and do the rest of this.
¿Sabes si son de verdad? Sí. Entonces sí, ya cuando...
Alright guys, we got all the wood prepped. We did a little extra sanding on these main entry doors because this is where the main entrance is, so like all the damage from the kids coming in and out. But Alex is finishing up, cleaning up the cabinets, is ready to prime, and then everything else up here, all the wood up here, all the molding up here, we just did with the deglosser, and we're gonna go ahead and prime everything. So we'll see after it dries. We'll show you guys the difference between the areas with no prep and the areas with the prep work. Alright guys, we're back. It's only been about an hour. We went to grab lunch and we went to grab some paint. But this is like the areas that we prepped. We did some extra sanding here and you can already see like some of it's still a little fresh, but for the most part it's a lot harder to scratch anything off versus what we had on the other end. So it's still curing, it's still drying, but a whole lot better adhesion than before. Oh, much better adhesion. Some of it, like I said, it's only been an hour, so some of it's still kind of fresh, but like you really got to dig in to pull it off. But yeah, I think it's a lot better.